put together for us from inside of Sports City. That is something that is very close to the heart of Commodore Emeka Omerua, setting up a Nigerian Football Academy, and he's chairman of that committee, and he's an associate professor of physical education in the University of Lagos. Dr. Folawiyo, you're welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much.
And sitting next to him is somebody you have seen on this program before. He spent so many years in America, and he now runs an organization called Global Sports Concept Limited. He played football here a bit, and he studied in America, and he has created some kind of record in America. You'll hear about him later. And of course, I was involved with him on 1 or 2 projects, and which we have been talking about. I have the pleasure of welcoming Mr. Kunle Raji to the program. Welcome. And sitting next to him is an ex-Ranger. Remember the ex-Ranger of Enugu, ex-Green Eagles player as well. He just came back from America about 2 weeks ago, less than 2 weeks ago, where he now lives. He's been there for almost 16 years now. And he's the chief executive of a company called Advanced Business Solutions, and he's in Nigeria doing business, looking for business. I have the pleasure of welcoming ex-international Kenneth Boardman. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
And of course, last but not the least, sitting next to him, my colleague in the Shooting Stars, ex-international also, now a coach who has coached several teams in the country, and he's in Lagos for the FIFA coach, which is starting on Monday, FIFA coaching clinic, which is starting on Monday. I have the pleasure of welcoming Mr. Idowu Otubushi, popularly called Slow Poison. Yeah, so you are all welcome to the program. Professor Folawiyo, you are an academic. You have been involved both in the psychology of players and so on, and in their physiology. Do you think, sir, following with all your knowledge, that if we have a team of genuine under-17s, we stand a chance in the world of football?
Of course, we stand a chance in the world of football. You see, what we've been lacking in this country is what I refer to as long-range planning. You don't plan, nobody wants to groom, nobody wants to buy. And so when the time comes, you see the sort of thing you see, people falsifying age to be included. And I know that in this country, we are so blessed with young boys and even girls now, since we have female competition, that if we actually get their record going and then keep the data on them, you can easily get under 17 that will do us best in the world of soccer. Remember, most of us get into some of these sports when we are very old. If you want to be a tennis player in the United States of America, maybe you start playing tennis from the age of 5 or 4. And so by the time you play for 10 years, you know what is tennis. And then, but here in Nigeria, before you start playing any game seriously, maybe you'll be 12, 13, 14. And then of course, if you're talking about under 17, you have only 3 more years to go. What I'm saying in principle is, if we go out and get a group of people to be screened properly and trained properly, what I call the scientific method of training, with good nutrition, definitely we get the type of thing we need.
Okay, I'll ask Slow, because you have experiences in coaching and you work with these players every time. And of course, we are all Nigerians, and we see children that at under 17 is likely that you are in secondary school. Understand? Do you think that our boys, when you look at their physique and all of that, that at under 17 they are really ready to take on the world and succeed?
Yeah, from my own point of view, I don't see our boys at the exact age of 17 playing at the world competition. Because when you look at so many areas, like training, feeding, and other things coupled together, I think for now we cannot raise a team of exact 17-year-old to go into the world soccer. I think so.
Well, that is not to say that what we have done so far is not that we have achieved them or anything. That's not to say so. I'm sure you know that all the cups we have won with under 17.
Exactly.
You understand? But at under 20, is there a difference?
Yes.
Can we have genuine under 20s?
Yes.
Who will win?
Yes, there will be a difference in the sense that by the time they attain the age of 19 years, the awareness is already coming in that they are now playing to get to a point. But at the age of 17, unless if from the start, let's say from the age of 12 years, 13 years, we bring these boys together and make them understand where they are heading to, the target point, then I think by 17 years, they'll be okay for world competition.
Okay, let's leave that issue. Ken, you have been a player yourself. Have players been honest in telling about their ages from your own personal experiences?
Yes, I must say that Nigeria, both under 17, under 20, can compete in world level. And I believe also that, yes, all over the world, not just Nigeria, because they're pinpointing Nigeria right now. In other countries, there are people that lie. And I believe that there are a lot of players here that will say the right age without lying. So I believe that we can produce excellent players.
No, that's not the question that I said, have players been honest from your own personal experience in Nigeria?
I would say most players, yes, have been honest.
But we've had dishonest ones.
Oh yes.
Your own personal experience.
Exactly. There are people that will, my own personal experience, there are people that will say lie just to get the benefit, just to be in the team, of course. You know, but based on what Professor said, you know, the data, we have to start now. Then it goes back to technology. We have to start now putting the data. When someone is born, it will be in the data. We will not rely anymore on presenting your birth certificate. All this stuff will be in the data. When you press the computer, it will bring up all the names and the ages. So that will help us in future to avoid this. Right now, about the problem that you might talk about, the under 23 for the Olympic team.
Under 17. Oh, no, don't just talk about Barua's case.
Okay. You know, if we have those things in the computer, you know, then we don't have to worry about lying or not lying. You know, so that's my own point of view.
Yeah, Prof, in administration, the problem that we face in administration is that you don't even know who to believe. The player comes in and he tells you his age. Why do you want to doubt him? He tells the coach. Sometimes some people say you have to blame the coach because the coach is the one who is supposed to verify. Some people say no, it is those in the secretariat who should verify. And the only things you have to verify with are birth certificates. Well, now the NFA wants to ask people to bring their school records and so on and so forth. But you know how in our system these things work. How else do you think can we go around it?
Yeah, see, as I've said a few minutes ago, you see, we believe in this. Being a member of yourself, you know, in 1993, we started talking about soccer academy. Now, when we have an academy, as we want to start very soon, we say in under 14. So by the time we gather them, the data will be available for now, so that we know what we are having now. Can have 300 of them, can have 400 of them. And then there's going to be a process of screening out to know exactly what's the age limit. Then, of course, if you know you are good and want to groom you for under 20, we separate you. But the essence of this academy is that we will get you under 14, and then we know the next 3-4 years you are ready for under 17. And then, as I was mentioned much earlier, with good nutrition, you have to eat well. And we're talking about under 17 in Nigeria. If you see under 17 American, you will not be talking about the age at all. It's taller, it's bigger, it's healthier, it's happier, it's robust, and it's happy with what it's doing. And then, of course, one thing we are lacking here is we've not got to the point of actually dedicating ourselves to our profession. In a place like Europe and America, if you want to be a basketball player, you pick it up from your youthful days and grow on with it. If you want to be a swimmer, fine. If you want to be on the track, fine. If you want to be boxing, fine. But here, we try here and there, and then finally, a coach that's very anxious to win at all costs will even advise that so that but to counter that effect and for the future, one we have no condition of whereby you multiply age or advantage of age. Now I want to bring Mr. Raji.
2 years ago, I was on a private visit to America and I stayed with him. And he took me to one stadium where the Eagles played during the World Cup. That's the first. And in that building, there was a small office downstairs where we met a woman. And he worked on certain projects there, you know. I don't know the details. He will tell us the details. But it's very interesting for our own education. What I found out, that small, what is contained.
Football. What every professional team or every professional league has in Europe or in America is a bank of a data bank that has every data you can think of that a player needs to, and they monitor players from the beginning, say from their college days where records are kept. On the press of a button, you can know the age, the medical history, even his injury history, which is used in scouting other talents, his records, everything to do about this player. And it doesn't mean maybe because you are in Nigeria, you don't know what is, or you are in Shooting Stars, for instance, in Ibadan, you don't know what is going on in stores. On the press of the button, you can tell the statistics of every player in the league. This is done all in the computer in your room. This is something I feel the National Football Association should be thinking of having now. Actually, it's amazing.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Leave that. In that room, the information we saw there, was it restricted to America?
Not really, because, well, at the initial stage, you know, Americans like to document. Very well, actually, they have some very funny statistics that I can't even bother to bring here now. But the essence of that is that while I was working at that stadium with the American football team, there was a delegation from the Leeds United, that's the British football team, Premier League football team. The owners and his case and some directors of the club came to understudy the way the Americans document their statistics. And we were shown around that same room, went through and decided we were fascinated by that. In essence, they got that technology transfer. I won't be surprised if you go to Leeds United now, you find similar documentation system in that place. Because it's so simple. Actually, when you look at it, it looks maybe it's computer age and everything. But at the end of it all, it's so simplistic, and I don't think it costs that much. To be replicated here because we need it.
Okay. After listening to Kunle say that, I will tell you what happened next. During the World Cup, we went to the accreditation center because some of us were not accredited, from the start. We got our accreditation when we got to America. So when we got into that room looked similar to what was in Foxborough Stadium. And of course, inquisitive me, I have to find out exactly what was going on. I wanted to supply them with some of my information, and the lady there said, "No, am I from Nigeria?" I said, "Yes." She said, "What's my name?" I told her my name. She just went like that on the computer, and when I turned around to see what was there, I saw everything about my life on that computer, and then I started asking questions. How did they get this? And the man said, "Well, they are documenting information on all sportsmen from around the world, no matter where you are in the world. If you are taking part in an international competition, there is a place where information is being stored in, and your records are there." To test her, Lawola Olagbemiro Chief was there with me. To test her, I said, "Could I see my brother's name?" She said, "What was his name?" And I told her his name. And she just went, and when it came out, there was my brother's name with all his statistics. Everything about my brother was on that computer. Chief Lawola Olagbemiro decided to test it himself. He called his name, and by gosh, Lawola's records, playing for Nigeria in 1972 and all of that, was on that computer. The world is a global village. What you don't know people have about you is recorded somewhere. For as long as you have participated at any level, if people really want to find out about you, they will know about you. So I just want to bring this one out for people's education, so that you don't think that if you tell somebody your age now, in 1, 2, or 3 years' time, you can change it. The world is reduced to a laptop, a television set, and a telephone. Okay, so Kunle, I just asked you this now. Do you think that Complete Football, which is a reputable magazine that is selling all over the world and so on and so forth, and has credibility, can ever, we heard Sonny say there, that he would never back Zimbabwe against Nigeria. That for me is the limit of patriotism, for somebody to almost sacrifice his paper for Nigeria, because he didn't say anything there. You understand? But that kind of patriotism, what is the limit? How far should we go in being patriotic? At what cost?
Well, I think the way it is now is whatever you can get away with. What the rule says, at least FIFA has its rules for taking care of this kind of problems. According to them, the way they look at it, they look at international passports. So if all the records that the Nigerian Football Association has corroborates with the age that was given, then I believe FIFA will have to go to decide the fate of Nigeria in this case solely on that passport issue. So as long as that's the case, I don't see why you can't be patriotic about it. I don't blame. Actually, I agree with Mr. Jagbasi on that particular piece, because what the record shows now is that all the ages, at least according to the passport, from 1991 to date, has been consistent. Now, what is being bandied around is a certain brochure